Hey everyone, it's me, Lammers of Invoked 101, and today I would like to do an updated Demise Into the World deck. I finally got the cards I needed to make this deck better, so I figured I would update it to show you guys the full and final version of it, except for maybe adding one more card, which I'll talk about later. So let's get right on into it. So first off, we are running 3 Demise Supreme King of Armageddon. When this card is ritual summoned to your field, all ritual monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. If he is ritual summoned using only ritual monsters as materials, you do not have to pay life points for his next effect. His next effect is you can pay 2,000 life points, destroy all other cards on field except for himself, and burn your opponent for 200 life points per card they controlled. So this card is very powerful. It can of course still attack after using its effect, so that it's a 3,000 beater right to their face, plus the burn damage that he did for all cards that they control. Sadly, it's not all cards on the field, so you may end up losing some of your own cards to sacrifice that. But in the end, it's worth it because even if you're just able to hit them for 3,000, that's still 1,000 more damage than you took. Next, we run 3 Demise Agent of Armageddon. When he is ritual summoned, you have to destroy a face-up card on the field, so I don't suggest summoning him going first, because most likely you'll end up destroying himself, and then there's really no point to ritual summon him in the first place. His graveyard effect is that you can target one ritual monster you control, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to that ritual monster's activation. So this card goes right hand in hand with Demise Supreme King of Armageddon, in that it protects his effect to pay 2,000 and destroy all cards on field and burn your opponent. So if you are able to ritual summon him just using this, you can get his graveyard effect to activate on him, and then he's not able to be destroyed by battle, or his activation will not be negated by cards or effects. So that's it for ritual monsters. Now for some basic support, we run 3 Incantation Candle, 3 Incantation Talismandra, 1 Incantation Pencil Plume, and 1 Incantation Bookstone. Now the reason I only run one of these instead of the 2 of them that we ran in the last time was I realized I found myself bricking more often. As you notice, we don't run the level 8 Demise in this deck, so since these only make a level 8, I couldn't tribute them away to get out my big Demise, and the most I could do is tribute Bookstone away for Agent of Armageddon, so level 4. So I ended up just kind of having this useless material still left on my field. And for the most part, I end up not having my Demise ritual monsters in the grave because they can't be destroyed by battle. And if you're able to ritual summon out your Supreme King of Armageddon with the effect that he cannot be targeted by cards or effects in response to his activation, most likely he's not going to end up in the graveyard. So there really isn't much need to have this more than one in your deck, because your graveyard's going to be pretty empty most of the time. Bookstone you may want to add up to 2, but the ritual spell cards themselves already have a way to cycle themselves back into the deck, so most likely you're not going to end up needing much of him either, but that's why I only run them at 1. Continuing with our support, 3 Manju of the 10,000 hands just to, replenish your hand and give you that extra part that you needed. And since he's a level 4, he's a perfect equal tribute for your Agent of Demise. And now, for 3 Ritual Raven. I've been waiting to get 3 of this for at least a month now, because we are only running dark ritual monsters, and it is super funny to drop into the world your ritual spell card that you can ritual summon from your hand with, and send Ritual Raven to the graveyard and get out your level 10 Demise. He won't have his effects that you don't have to pay 2,000 life points to destroy every card on field, but it's still funny and it's still really easy to do, and it kind of makes your opponent a little annoyed. So if you're into that, I suggest running him at 3. Two, Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, because it is a light dark deck and he's really easy to get out, especially with the incantations. And then we're running a very small hand trap engine. So we have 2 effect failures, 1 ogre, and 1 ash. Once again, still only owning the 1 ash. But if you own more, of course, you can add more. They do help. I actually find effect failure and ash to be the most helpful going against other decks. So, I mean, your hand trap engine can vary depending on what you prefer. But if you have more of a card that I don't have, add it if you want to. So that is it for monsters, and now on to spells. We run 3 Breaking of the World. This is an amazing card. Once per turn, you can target 1 ritual monster you control and reveal a ritual monster in your hand. The revealed monster's level becomes equal to the level of the ritual monster on field. So this is how you get out your Demise Supreme King of Armageddon, only using ritual monsters. So you tribute your agent for your Supreme King of Armageddon, because your Supreme King is now level 4, and then you don't have to pay the 2,000 life points. If you, once per turn, when you ritual summon a monster, you can draw 1 card or destroy 1 card on field, non-targeting, so it's amazing, and it really helps this deck go a step farther. We run 2 Terraforming, just search it. Next we're running 3 Cycle of the World. This is the spell card that if it's in your graveyard during your main phase, except for the turn it was sent there, you can shuffle it back into your deck to add to hand 1 Into the World ritual spell card. Into the World is the spell card that you can tribute monsters from your hand, but they have to be exact. So this card can end up bricking you, which is why I only run it at 2, but I also run it at 2 just because you don't want to draw into it, just so that you can recycle your Cycle of the World. Because if this is all in your hand, then you can't send this back to your deck. So that's why I run it at 2, but you can of course run it at 3 if you would like. Next we run 2 Ritual Cage. Now this is the card that I was talking about maybe adding another one of, because it's amazing. Since we don't run any of the Ruin cards, which protects you from being destroyed by card effects, Ritual Cage can really help you protect your ritual monsters even more than just protecting them from battle damage, from being destroyed by battle. Ritual Cage says you take no battle damage from attacks involving ritual monsters you control. Ritual monsters you control cannot be targeted by or destroyed by monster effects. So it's only monster effects, but it can still really help protect you from being destroyed, and you can continue to blow up their field and hit them directly. So it's a really great card, and I strongly suggest running it. Getting to the end, we run 2 Called by the Graves, just to, once again, step farther, protect yourself and prevent your opponent from doing their bigger plays. And Monster Reborn, just in case our Demise is destroyed and gets into the graveyard and we don't have Pencil Plume. This can help get him back really simply and easily, and it's still funny when you return him from grave to field because he's really hard to get over. So that was just a very quick Demise into the world deck profile. Like I said, I got the cards that I've been waiting for, so I figured I would just update it for you guys so that you can see how powerful this deck can be when you have all the pieces that you need. It's really strong, it's really easy to get out your ritual monsters, and it's amazing to just keep beating over your opponent. It's a very powerhouse, I'm gonna destroy your stuff and you can't stop me because none of it targets. It's a really fun deck, so I strongly suggest playing it. If you'd like to see more deck profiles like this, please consider supporting us on Patreon. It would have honestly helped me get the cards I needed faster, so I could have had this original deck profile out a long time ago instead of to keep updating it. But even if you don't know if you want to send us any money, at least go to the link in the description down below and check it out, because there are so many opportunities where you guys can interact with us. And as I said before, it would help boost our channel to the very next level and provide better content for you, the viewer. So please go check that out. We do have an Instagram at Invoked101 where we are updating everyone on what decks profiles are going to be coming out and when a deck profile is uploaded, so please go check that out. And I think that's it. Please leave in the comments down below what you may change about this deck. I want to remind everyone that I kind of want to keep it more pure Demise. I've seen a lot of Demise OTK decks that have a small Demise engine, but they're not actually a Demise deck. And I want to keep this pure Demise, so any suggestions for boosting a pure Demise deck, please leave them in the comments below. If you liked it, please give me a like, and thank you so much. Bye!